Hi, I'm Alex Archbold, and I've been buying and selling antiques since I was 9 years old. From basements to scrapyards, I'll look just about anywhere I can to find lost antiques and collectibles. And sometimes I'll go big and buy everything. I never know what's going to happen or who I'm going to meet. This is our life, this is our adventure, and this is Curiosity Inc. Hey guys, welcome to today's episode. I am midway through doing this house clear out. Actually, the house is already cleared out. This was a different one because everything was already boxed up for us. What I'm doing right now is trying to find out whether I found enough stuff of value to make it worthwhile. Last episode, I started doing some discovery through some of the boxes. We found quite a number of interesting antiques already, and I am going to be taking my first load of stuff to auction today. But I have to get my garage cleaned up. We have some of my vehicles are out of the shop are gonna be coming back, so I can't have all that stuff sitting in there. So I've got to get back out there this morning, get stuff sorted, organized, and ready to go, and just keep making trips to the auction house until basically my life is back to normal again. But let's do a little discovery, see what we find, and see if we get closer to getting our investment back, which was $2,700 Canadian, about 2,000 US. Let's go in the garage, check things out. Well, it's getting there. I mean, I've taken 4 truckloads of stuff to charity. I've got one vehicle load full of boxes that are going to be going to auction. And the mission this morning is to try and get as many full boxes out the door. That gets rid of a bunch of bulk. If I can do, and what I mean by that is like a box of jars, a box of books, a box of whatever, like that stuff can be sold by the box. That instantly reduces the bulk and gives me a little bit more room to work. Because the thing that takes the longest is when you start going through all this stuff and then you have to piece it out individually. So that can take a little while. So I'm going to come around to this side here today and see if there's any more boxes where I can just put the whole darn thing up for sale and get it gone in one go. And I think some of these are court sealers. When we get down to the individual items, like this, if I find that could be sold on its own. So that's King George and Queen Elizabeth. That's the Queen Mum from their coronation, or his coronation, I should say. Going back to, I think that was 37 or so, just before the war. Some collectibles and stuff. It's going to be a bit of digging today, but we're hoping this will all be worthwhile. Incidentally, hey, I forgot to mention, this is a rack of horns. It's like bull horns in here, or steer horns. Let me get that unwrapped, we'll have a look at it. There they are, and I think I can say this without getting in trouble, but that's a nice rack. I was introduced to decorative horns by a character named Boss Hogg, where he would put them on his vehicle as such. Not that we're going to put it on the Miata. A Duke, 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 Duke. Anyway, yeah, that's a neat thing. If you got a Western themed sort of house or cottage or cabin or a early 70s Cadillac Eldorado convertible, you just might need a set of horns like that. We'll keep that aside. That will definitely be something that can sell on its own. Okay, what do we got here? Sing-along songs on VHS Disney. There's a few of those. I'm guessing that's like the bouncing ball. There is a nice antique seltzer bottle. These are fairly collectible. They had it at 35 bucks. I'm surprised they actually go for a little bit beyond that now. I don't know when they stopped dealing in antiques, but that is a nice old seltzer bottle. With the mesh, the reason this mesh is on here, you can imagine it's under pressure, and this being a glass bottle, if it were to blow up, you wouldn't want shards of glass all over your patrons at your bar. That would be bad, so they put this mesh on it for safety. Earlier models didn't actually have that, and there's probably a really good reason why that's on there now. What the heck is this? It looks like it's for carrying maybe a bottle, or it's a couple of racks. I've got postcards. Big bin full of old postcards. from, looks like, all over the place. Mainly sort of 60s and 70s kind of era. Groten uit Amsterdam. Kind of cool. We'll probably just put that whole thing out as one lot. There's a little bit that escaped out of the bin there. So there we go. There's one more lot of things that could be sold. People do collect postcards. Some old milk bottles in here. And I might keep this box just for these milk bottles. And we'll see if we can find any more, and we'll just make a whole box full of milk bottles to put in here. Actually, I was getting ready to put this box to the side, and at the bottom was this. It's a lightning rod ball. So you'd have this on top of your house, you put that over the lightning rod, and it's intact. It hasn't been blown up, so that's a good sign. Maybe I'll find the rest of the lightning rod in here somewhere too, who knows. What do we have here? Oh, the story of Prince Andrew. Well, that should be a part one. That has not aged well. Let's see. Princess Elizabeth Wedding Day. Illustrated London News. That's an oldie, 1935. We'll see if, the Royal Visit Pictorial Review of Alberta. Hey, actually, what's interesting about this is if you look way back in my episodes, you'll see that I had the royal car for a little bit. We got it to a museum. This looks like it's a lot of royal memorabilia. So I'm going to probably leave the majority of this stuff in here other than the really old ones. We'll take those out because those can be sold individually. But anything that is sort of just a little bit more generic, we'll just put in a box and get rid of it that way. I remember when I was driving the royal car, the 39 Buick McLaughlin that they used in that tour, there was a compact in the one little compartment in the back, and it was some royal person, possibly the Queen, left it in there. I always wondered if she was wondering where it was. Okay, boy, there's an awful lot of... This is all royal memorabilia and magazines and so forth. Just tons of it. Let's see, we've got some vintage tins and stuff in here. Tobacco, Quaker Oats. One stands out, though. Why, it's Uncle Joe's mint balls. I'm just gonna leave that there. No. Well, I just opened up this box, and yeah, there's a couple lampshades and stuff in there, but I found a nice 1960s era Eaton's, which was a department store here in Canada, which no longer exists, portable record player in its original case. Imagine the kids in the 60s going to the party with a stack of 45s and dancing around somebody's bedroom with this thing. And look, an old Kenmore mixer. I've got to find the bowl for it. But it's pretty much all there. And it has the meat grinder attachment on the front too. And don't worry, folks, it's been cleaned out. So yeah, old mixers, they'll last forever, and you know, people like the look of the old stuff, so that will probably sell individually. A couple of good finds in that box. Okay, that pile is officially getting very big. You can barely see my son's project car sitting there. It's getting buried. However, I am finding a few more treasures. Now, this seems to be well, I don't know, this is old curlers, not super exciting, but we have some antique photographs and a medallion from the Hudson's Bay Company, which is one of the oldest companies in existence, founded in 1670. One of, well, I shouldn't say one of the oldest companies, one of the oldest North American companies still in existence. And this is a nice little medal fashioned after a design that came from that era. Really, really cool. We've got a little bit of silver, napkin rings. These little boxes sometimes hold big surprises. You never know what's at the bottom of them. Pocket knives and starlighter. Like a knockoff Zippo. It's the Zippos that you want to find. But there are collectors of all sorts of lighters. We've got some buttons and pins. Badges. You have a neat little box of things, some old patches, military patches, and so forth. So kind of some interesting stuff. Antique brass buttons. Army buttons, it says. Skeleton keys. Somebody watching at home right now is going, ooh, skeleton keys. I always need some of those. Well, guess what? That day will come. Oh, look, that's a little nabob coffee spoon. Those are kind of cool. Okay, so some cool stuff in that bin. All right, getting some stuff loaded up. Turns out that perpetual motion clock, this one, is not quartz. It's actually mechanical, made in Western Germany, so 1950s era. Found a 1980s Care Bears Play-Doh set, still in original packaging, never opened. That's going way back. And I didn't really have a close look at this sewing machine that was here, but I can tell right away it's actually a decent one. Let me show you why. I'm just gonna put it up on the counter here so I can give you a better look. So Singer made a lot of sewing machines. That's a given. But one of the better sewing machines that they made, or more desirable, I should say, not necessarily better. This has a hand crank mechanism. You can see it's actually still working away there. No problems. But it's the decals, the artwork on it that makes this interesting. This is the Egyptian theme. It's got the Sphinx on it. It's Egyptian, it's super cool. It's in decent condition as well. Just needs a little bit of dusting. See, that actually just all comes right off. That's just dust underneath. It's perfect. So nice little machine and in working condition too. Doesn't have, I think somebody made this base for it. It was probably part of a treadle sewing machine at one point, or is in a different case, but it works. They actually did hinge it so it can hinge properly. You can put stuff down there. So nice little sewing machine. Featherweights are the best. But when you get into the treadles and the portables, the Egyptian model is definitely desirable. That'll be a good seller. This little case was locked, but a little bit of gentle persuasion, I was able to get it to free up. And inside, we have, looks like a Yashica 35mm lens, looks like a zoom lens. Is the camera in here? Oh, this looks like a camera. It is. Yashicas are actually a really decent camera, so if that's what's in here, I'll be in pretty good shape. Let's see. Yep, a Yashica FX2 35mm, probably from the early 70s, I would say. And it's got all its accessories and everything in here too. Nice little kit. It's actually in a Bell & Howell case, so I wasn't sure what would be in here. I thought maybe a movie camera or something, but no, it's a 35mm. That's better yet. People still buy those. People still shoot with them. It's a great little find. There were a couple of interesting braces in here. So these hand drills or brace. Normally you put a drill bit in the end, but these have attachments. That one looks like it's meant for honing out, I don't know what it would hone out. It looks like it makes a perfect circle. It's got that sort of scraper on it. It would spin around. And this other one has this kind of funky attachment on it, which looks like you can put some other sort of bit. It also has a like a woodworking little scraper there, so it would spin and rotate and make, I guess, a completely flat, smooth, round circle. And you could create different diameters. I've never actually seen those attachments on a brace before. Again, they're a specialty part that is seldom seen on a tool like that. Now, this is something that you might recognize. It's a jerry can. This is marked US, so it's US military, likely Second World War when they had a lot of surplus around. However, what's different about this is somebody has gone to great effort to put hinges on it and make it into a storage container hidden inside of a jerry can. I actually like that quite a bit. I think that's cool. If you had an old Army Jeep and you weren't really seeing yourself use the jerry can that's on the back, that really gives you a little bit of extra storage. You can put all kinds of stuff in there. These folks that I cleared the house from, I saw they had one of these that they were using as a mailbox, so they obviously built a couple. But neat design, well constructed, and somebody's gonna think that's really cool. I do. found a box full of vintage catalogs from Sears and Eaton's, some of them going back to the 1970s, where you could get a pair of shoes for $12. I guess you probably still could. About getting a whole outfit for 20 bucks might be a little tough though, but really fun to go through these old things and see how they used to decorate, what the price of things were. You know, there's samples and colors. Oh gosh, I mean, who didn't have furniture in their grandparents' house or in their parents' house that looked like some of this stuff? I mean, really neat. There's even some going back to the 50s. Last time I had a whole pile of these old catalogs. They sold really well. So I'm going to put up the bigger ones individually, sell the rest in a box, and I guess we'll see where things go. Okay, it is the end of what is a very long day. I've taken, I've taken probably about 6 loads of charity so far. 6 or 7 loads, truckloads full of stuff to charity. And I'm making my final trip to the auction for today. And that garage is finally cleared out. Let me show you. Look, the giant pile has now been replaced with the Miata. It's back in there, and just in time too. We had a big storm. That is a couch. It's a sofa bed. You get a bunch of stuff out the door and more stuff arrives. But as for me, it's late. It's nearing midnight and I'm just winding down now. It was a ton of work, but well worthwhile. Next episode, I have to start going through that trailer because I'm probably gonna need that trailer for something else. And I've got to get everything over to the auction. Next week is pretty much, I've only got maybe about a week or so to do it. So stay tuned for next episode when we go through the trailer and see what's in store. Guys, I'm out. We'll see y'all soon. And thanks for watching. As always, bye for now. Bye, guys.